This is the most recent iteration of the BMW 7 Series. Well, it is a facelift, but BMW told us it's a little bit more than just a slight facelift. Is that true? Let's find out together here on Autogefühl, your number one resource for in-depth car reviews and your number one community to discuss cars. Today with Thomas. In Full HD, full screen and full length. Let's go. And this is directly where BMW have changed the most thing about this vehicle. You see this huge new BMW double kidney. It's the biggest one that is available for the 7 Series yet. We also have basically like a small round step in here, and it goes all the way through those new headlamps, which are slimmer than before. They come standard with adaptive LED for all markets now worldwide. Optional, you can also get this very laser light. You can see those blue accentuations, then with a high beam range of about 600 meters. Unfortunately not available in the US because regulations there forbid it. So also with other models, they either restrict the range of the laser light or you cannot get it at all. Here with the 7 Series, you can get just the adaptive lights in the US, but already those here, they are basically the maximum from the regulations in the US, so we have the maximum range also in the high beam. Then in the lower part you can see this is here a chrome style package. You can also get different ones, for example an M Sport, where it's a little bit sportier than with the lower spoilers even, and there's also a shadow line available if you're not keen on the chrome. I like it pretty much, but if you prefer it rather in a black style, there's this shadow line package where you get everything, then optional also in a darker tone. By the way, the whole front sits 5 centimeters higher now, so that's the reason why they had to change everything basically. And according also to the bigger BMW double kidney, they also increased the diameter of the front logo right here. 5 meters 24 or 17 foot 2 is the total length of the 5 Series in the long wheelbase version. That's the so-called G12. It's also standard for the US market, for example. And the G11 would be the short wheelbase variant we can, for example, get in Germany. That one is then 5 meters 10 or 16 foot 7. We'll see how that long wheelbase version will play out on the interior. It's very, very interesting. Rims start from 18-inch up to 20-inch. Those ones are new Spider style 20-inch. Very beautiful, I think. Then we also have this air outtake here for the, reducing the wind turbulences. This is not just fake. This really goes through right there. Chrome also on the lower part and also around the windows. But again, if you pick this shadow line package, you can also get that in glossy black. So if you want a more evil style, so to say. The M Sport package would then also feature a different spoiler in the lower part to make it a little bit sportier. Other than that, we have the classic sedan style with the falling roof right there, integrated shark fin antenna, and I can also see something of the panoramic roof. That will be very interesting, the key feature arriving for you there very soon. And just to mention again, this here is a mix of steel, aluminum and carbon, so it has a carbon core that brought down the weight. So although it's a large business sedan, it has a weight under 2 tons. The color, by the way, is called Bernina Grey. Yes, it's from the Bernina Express, taken from that one. It's a really great train ride. I can just recommend you to do that once in a lifetime. What do you think about the color? And what's new here in the rear? Well, this light stripe going all over the vehicle from left to the right. This is new, and the tail lamps also have a more three-dimensional look and a new LED running light signature. This one is the 750Li, L for the long wheelbase version, I for the petrol. We'll soon find out more about the petrol engines and also the diesels. And there's a new plug-in hybrid version. And, well, what do they have all in common? Yes, those fake exhausts at the lower end, well, they're just tips. The real exhausts are inside, but they all look the same now. So that's also the reason why they're doing that, to keep the same design throughout the whole vehicle lineup. So what about engines? Let's briefly start with the diesels because they haven't changed anything there. 3-liter R6, so 6-cylinder diesel, is actually a quite economical engine in this case. 265 horsepower, 320 or 400 horsepower. But what has really changed are the petrol engines. First of all, it's a vehicle which is really rare because in one vehicle you have 4 cylinders, 6 cylinders, 8-cylinder and a 12-cylinder. And those all in different horsepower spec, and also the plug-in hybrid has been updated. It moved from a 4-cylinder to a 6-cylinder basis. And to go in detail, you start with the 730i. It's a rear-wheel drive model, a 2-liter 4-cylinder, primarily for the Asian markets. Then there's a 740i. You can also get that one already with all-wheel drive. It's a 3-liter 6-cylinder with 340 horsepower. We had tested that one earlier with a 9-liter consumption on 100 kilometers or 26 mpg. So slight horsepower upgrade for that one. Then there'll be the new plug-in hybrid 745e, now to 394 horsepower system output. As I said, before it was with a 4-cylinder and electric range supposed to be 50 kilometers pure electric range. Then this one, the very one you see, is a 750i, 4.4-liter 8-cylinder. And this one had a massive power upgrade now from 450 now to 530 horsepower and 3.9 seconds to 100 kilometers an hour or 62 miles an hour. And this one will always come with all-wheel drive. Then there will still be the 6.6-liter 12-cylinder, the M760i. This one also with X-Drive, with the all-wheel drive. And the horsepower figure will stay 610 horsepower in the US. In other markets will drop down to 585 due to emission regulations. Here we go with the interior. First of all, let me show you the soft close feature. So here we go. Magic. Very interesting always. And then those door handles, they have a very pleasant tactile feeling, so they also managed it very well. They are also illuminated, and it feels really pricey. Well, this vehicle actually also is, of course. So, and now let's take a look at the inside. First of all, the inside of the doors right here, you can already see the ambient lighting, different colors available. The decoy elements are always wood. And here in this case, there's not an open cell matte variant available, so you always have a wood but different color and always with a shiny surface right there. You can see there's also soft materials on the inside of the doors, and all the buttons for the window levers are galvanized, so a good build quality there too. Also feels quite well. Well, the door pocket below that is quite small, so there you can only lay bottles in there. They won't really stand upright. Then rest of the interior right here. First of all, very interesting feature, with the carbon core right there, as indicated also with this small sticker. And on the lower part, the door entry pads, you can see they match each other symmetrically. Also very nice detail, like when they pay attention to those details. And then the new cluster here. Seat has changed a little bit with those smaller structures right there, the quilted structures. They are also new, that they are a little bit finer. This seat here, by the way, is only available with animal skin. There are no alternatives they are offering at the moment. Steering wheel has not changed, still heated function available. What has changed are the digital instruments, and if you now discover a BMW X5 there, that's because they have changed to the new software, and this is a pre-production model, so this will of course then feature also a 7 Series in the visual display. Let's take a seat right here, and you have this classic rather low seating sedan position. I've put the seat to the lowest position. I'm 1.86 m or 6'1", and with a panoramic roof, that still leaves me some headroom right there. It's a big car, and you also have enough room, that's for sure, and a very comfortable seating position, so you can relax while driving. But driving the 7 Series, know it from earlier reviews, still feels somehow sporty. That's also what their core promise is actually. And most of the updates for the Facelift will be the infotainment system. We'll take a look at that very soon. But here you can already see how the ambient lighting, here in this case with the purple color, illuminates here the interior is also very nicely done. Interior overview here with this horizontal stress, and I like the symmetry. Look here, the 10.3-inch screen, which has been updated, is mirrored here in the lower area. This is really cool. Still separate climate knobs right there, but then with a screen. This is also a good solution. You can easily reach it also while driving. On the left side now, digital instruments, 12.3-inch. We'll soon go in detail of those screens, and this will also be standard. Standards have also the 2-zone AC with right and left control, seat heating, GPS included. But I mean, it's 90,000 euros or dollars at least entry price this car. Then it also should come with some included stuff. Do you see the ambient light in the panoramic roof? This is the panoramic roof in the rear. It's the same as for the front, and a laser comes from the side, and then those small structures in the glass reflect it, and then you also have an illuminated panoramic roof. It's hard to see it on camera just from several angles, but you can better see it with your own eyes, and it will match the interior ambient light color. Really interesting. And in the front here, you can really talk about the ceiling in this vehicle. Those BMW wings for the front reading lights, still one of my favorite features in this vehicle. So much to discover here. You see this turbine-style LED from the Bowers & Wilkins optional sound system behind it. Really cool detail. By the way, you can see it right here. What was manual once in BMWs for the front vents is also all electric now. Really interesting. You can change between the temperatures. But then below that still has a CD changer right there. Music lovers appreciate it for better sound quality. Then again, those classic climate unit right there is a mix of the classic, and then for the vent strength, it's all with the display right there and also with touch. Then below that, you can slide this one here totally open or just half the way and then push it slightly, and then it goes all the way back. Interesting system. Inductive charging pad is now introduced right there, so you can put your smartphone on there, but also a classic USB port and adaptive cup holders next to a 12-volt power supply. Lower middle console, you have the classic control, turning and pressing knob with the hotkeys, automatic gear shifter. On the other side, you can pick the driving modes. For example, if you have the air suspension, it goes up and down then as well. Here also for the air suspension, and a separate camera knob. There's a new parking assistant package with when you go front way in the parking garage or so, and it basically memorizes the function. When you go backwards again, then it automatically goes the way back you've driven in the front if maybe your way didn't work out well. And also an automatic dash cam included in this package is also inbuilt in the vehicle then. So an interesting option for sure. Last but not least, we have this armrest also with a new quilting on the top, and it opens it in a split way with a USB-C port. So you have a transition, USB normal in the front and C in the armrest. And here the digital gauges. Again, you see the X5 because it's a pre-production software. You will see a 7 series right there, left side speed, and counterclockwise you see the RPMs going up then. The infotainment system also with touch with a new 7.0 software. This is the map, also with good responsiveness, but you can still control it from below, of course. You don't have to use the touch. You can use both. That's actually quite cool. Telephone with Bluetooth or wireless CarPlay. We said it earlier. BMW does not support Android Auto because they think they would do bogus with the data. This is, by the way, here the gesture control. So, for example, this one, you can also have the favorites. If you make this gesture, you can have different gestures then for different functions. So let's now get to the rear compartment. Very interesting. You have different setups. First of all, the long wheelbase version, you can see it has a way longer door right there. And when you look at the interior, there are different choices. This one here is the top executive package with split seats and all electric, of course. Then if we go from top to bottom, basically, you can also get the executive seating where you can fold flat, but without the middle console. So with a 3-seater setup, one level down. And this is then also available for the short wheelbase models. You get a bench that goes all the way through but has electric seats. And the base one would be just a rear bench with 3 seats. So again, if we go from the lower standpoint, base rear bench, no electric, then rear bench, 3 seats, just electric, and then you have this setup with the executive lounge. I will soon show the fold flat option, and the top spec we can see right here again with the middle armrest. So overall 4 different options, a little bit complicated, but if you didn't understand it well, just replay it. Then you can see the entertainment system is also optionally available. Then you can, for example, follow the GPS even if you're driving in the rear seat. And let me also get you in the rear then here, because I have set the driver's seat to where I was driving. And in a long wheelbase version, that leaves me plenty of legroom right there. In the short wheelbase version, that would be just like this. So it would be really close then. And that's why I always say that those cars do not have the best package. Although they're super long, they don't have so much room on the interior. So a lot is also wasted basically. But in the long wheelbase version, especially our friends in the US, then we'll be happy with that. You will have plenty of legroom still left. And already here, I can control the seats, a lot of functions, different, for example, different angle here, and I can also go a little bit forward. This is all possible. The backrest and seat massage also for the rear seats also available. That's what belonging to those very executive packages. And almost everything is electric. For example, also the shades here for the doors. Yep. And this is here now the one button executive feature. So I just hit one button at the inside of the doors, and then you can see the seat is going flat. Also the co-driver seat, this is also part of the executive package, goes in the front. And it will also give me the possibility to rest my foot then on the seat. It takes, of course, just a while, but it's a very funny feature for sure. There it goes further. While the seat is changing, by the way, I can also show you this middle console here. So we have adaptive cup holders and also separate climate control for the rear. Here we go. And now finally the footrest is opening up. And this is a pretty cool feature. It does not exactly fit my length. Maybe like this. So with 1m86 or 6'1", you cannot stretch your legs completely. But if you're a little bit smaller, then it will directly fit. This is really boss style, isn't it? But even more boss style is also, we first of all have a separate tablet here also for the rear. You can also remove that electrically like this, and then we can control even more features with this tablet. Yeah. Will you ever use all those features? I'm not quite sure. Then we have another middle armrest right here with a foldable table. Like this. And last but not least, champagne cooler like this. It also goes to the trunk. Here you can also have your cold drinks. And finally, the trunk, which is at 530 liters capacity. You cannot flip the seats. There's just, this is basically the cooler. You can also take it out, and then we have the full capacity. It's big enough for sure, and also has a wide hole to open to get things in and out. And if you don't have the cooler, you can also load things through, so there's a ski hatch available. And now to our conclusion for today. Well, indeed, it is a little bit more than just a slight facelift, because the whole new front has been changed and the 7 Series is more present on the road than ever before. On the interior, there are not so many changes. You know, the infotainment updates, that's the most important point, that you get the newest software generation right there. Of course, you could also solve that with over-the-air updates, but most of the traditional manufacturers are not there yet. You have also different possibilities for the rear seats, as we've seen before. You know, we could go for the classic bench, as we've told you, but also here with this executive style. The long wheelbase version will be, of course, especially important for the US and for the Chinese market, where they're only sold. And from the rest of the car, not so much has been changed as in the front there. It remains the classic sedan style. Well, of course, you have these engine updates. This is also a significant change. All engines have been updated then for the new emission cycles, for example, and you have, in most cases, way more power than before. What is still missing are sustainable alternatives for the seats, definitely also here in this business class style, because also more and more customers want sustainable choices. So they're still going a very classic way here. And the overall usage of space, in the long wheelbase version, of course, you have more legroom, but overall, considering the package, I think you should also get more room on the inside, considering the exterior of the car. But that's a general problem with this segment. Of course, now looking forward to your feedback. How do you like especially the new Frontier with that huge BMW kidney? Let's discuss the new 7 Series here and also tune in when we have the full driving review for you.